And the show continues now with newspaper review. We have joining us in the studio to do justice to it, a lecturer at the Atlantic University, Dan Ekere.
University of Lagos.
Of Lagos, rather. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's true. Welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Good morning. Thank you. It's always a pleasure being here.
Okay, so let's go straight to the Punch newspaper. The major story here is EFCC DSS clash. Sage Falana berates DSS for stopping Ekpenyong Oke's arrest. And there's an excerpt of Falano's statement. He said the prevention of the arrest was a clash between impunity and the rule of law. The security personnel who shielded the suspects from arrest committed the offense of obstruction of justice, punishable under the EFCC Act.
Yeah, I think he was just apt. He has addressed it the way it should be, because if one is perceived to have committed a crime, alleged to have committed a crime, and the due course of the law is to, to take place, whoever truncates that process is offending the law itself. So whether you call them DSS or DSTP or whatever name you call them, the fact that they are not greater than the law, they are not superior to the law. In fact, if not for law, they do not have the power to arrest anybody either.
True.
So if one of them has, run foul of the law, I expect that they should be reasonable enough to allow the law to take its due course. So as far as this issue is concerned, whoever is responsible for that, shielding of the man from being arrested, I think the law should take its due course.
We remember when DSS stormed the homes of judges.
Judges, yes.
On the allegation of them being corrupt and a lot of things. And
one of them is now being alleged to.
It's now being alleged,
yes.
and they're shielding him from being arrested.
It is the same law that should take its course, because the same way they stormed the homes of judges is the way their boss is to be treated too. So the same, just like the Bible said, it said the same measure that you use for others is what will be used for.
Equal measure.
Yes.
But then you wonder really who is behind the order of the DSS, the actions of the DSS most of the time, that they could boldly do this, because someone at the floor of the Senate, the senator, said that it's the clash between these two agencies that are part of the executive shows that there is no one in charge of government in Nigeria.
Yeah, that in fact it's a reflection of something of that kind. However, you see, sometimes you find some persons who are overzealous. A lot of times you find government aides taking actions that ordinarily the people they are aiding would not support. But just because they want to show that they are doing their work and for them to appear, hardworking, they do some things that go, outside the ordinary. Now, in this particular case, the persons who prevented this, exercise are identifiable. All I expect is that the law should take its due course. Not only the boss should be arrested, even those elements that can take laws into their hands should equally be treated the same manner.
Trying to obstruct justice.
Yes.
Justice.
Now,
the
point there is, I wonder, when it comes to the EFCC and the DSS, there are all agencies under the presidency directly.
Yes.
I wonder how this indict the president when this happens and he doesn't say anything.
As usual.
Well, it could be challenging, really, but I expect equally that those who are in charge of these agencies have some measure of, independence, some measure of independence. You don't really need to take instruction from the president before you arrest one who is perceived to have committed a crime. And I do not think that anybody would have notified the president that the aides are going to do this or do that. So all I expect is that the president reposes some confidence in perhaps the agencies and the heads of the agencies that they would do the needful. Now, it is when they fail to do that and the president remains mute that we can begin to, trade blames that perhaps it's not in charge. But as far as this issue is concerned, we want to see, those people who have prevented the arrest and the one who was supposed to be arrested.
Indeed. Well, Nigerians are waiting and following that story to see what action will be taken by the president. Okay, let's move on to another story. The bottom left of the Punch newspaper. Why December target for 2018 budget passage will fail. That's according to the Senate. And Nigerians are getting disappointed already. But the Senate is saying that if at the end of the day they are not able to pass the budget by the December target given to it by the president, Nigerians shouldn't blame the members of the National Assembly, that they should blame members of the president's cabinet. And they mentioned the CG of Customs, Hamid Ali, the CBN governor, some other of government officials, that they refused to appear before the public hearing of the Senate to defend their own submissions. And of course, during the hearing on the medium-term expenditure framework and public paper.
Well, I think that government is a comprehensive, machinery, and the Senate, that is the National Assembly in short, and the executive, including the judiciary, are the instruments we call government. And so the failure of government is the failure of both of them. They must always recognize that if this government fails, both the National Assembly and the executive will be part of that failure. Now, I think they should be working, in synergy, such that everything works out well. But I do not think that the customs and the other one they mentioned are enough to prevent the budget from being passed. And in any case, even if those people appear before the National Assembly, what is the guarantee that they will actually pass that budget in December?
Well, it was part of the reasons given. Recall that when the president made the presentation of the 2018
yes.
appropriation bill to the joint National Assembly, then the lawmakers promised that they were going to pass the MTEF report, and that was somehow supposed to be a precursor to the passage of the 2018 bill.
Yes.
So they're saying that if they don't pass that, it would be difficult for them to move on to the 2018 budget.
Yes, but, and again, I keep wondering when we begin to have this kind of challenges that an institution like the National Assembly, will be hiding under this kind of flimsy excuse when, as a matter of fact, every instrument to compel whoever to appear is at their disposal. So you can't give us this flimsy excuse that if it shows that on their own they are not even prepared to pass it within that period. Yes. So they are not looking for alibi.
And say, well, if you don't pass it, don't blame us. It means there's the possibility and likelihood.
Because they have everything it takes to bring anybody at all to that place.
After all, they summoned the IGP.
Of course. So who is the custom boss has appeared before them several times.
Exactly.
So what is the issue? They can't tell us that.
Let's move to the Sun, the Daily Sun now. We were to talk about no going back on Ekpenyong's arrest. Magu is saying that's the chairman of EFCC, or acting chairman, as the case may be. Now, the next headline there says, no automatic ticket for Buhari in 2019. Tinubu is saying that and falls Okorocha's position on governor's endorsement. Now, we remember some governors earlier had said that they were endorsing, or at least there's no vacancy. 2019, Buhari has the ticket automatic. Well, this is a counter of that.
Yes, lily-livered men can easily adopt anything, and I think that is what the governors have just exhibited. They should give us grounds first, before you begin to say that this is the best man for this office. Show us, the performance.
Exactly.
And then we'll look at all of that and see if there are loopholes. Then we examine options and see if there are others who are even more capable. You cannot tell me if Buhari dropped dead today, Nigeria will collapse. All right? There are other personalities who are more energetic, who are even more committed, perhaps even more brilliant, to carry out this cause. So nobody is indispensable as far as, governance is concerned. So we should stop this habit of, 200 million march for Abacha and that kind of syndrome coming to play again, adopting. Let's stop this idea of adopt. Let the man prove himself. And go to the polls, even for the primaries. If the party feels that this is a man we need, the primary election, internal democracy is critical to us.
And that was exactly what Tinubu said. And he said that the Buhari he knows wouldn't want to be endorsed just like that. I would want to go through the process. That respects exactly the due process and the rule of law.
Yes.
And that governors cannot appropriate the power of endorsements to themselves.
I mean, that is the way it should go. I think I align with Ashwaji on this issue, that the right thing to do, no matter how good the man is, he should go through the due process. And as a matter of fact, that will strengthen internal democracy in the party.
Moreover, this is 2017. It's still quite early to talk about who is the final candidate of a political party for an election in 2019.
You're right.
Okay, let's move on. We have another headline here that says Atiku set to dump APC for PDP. this is not the first time, this is not the second time. You know, there has been movement from here and there.
I don't think really Atiku is dumping any party because he's part of all the parties. You know, he's in APC, he's in PDP. So when you say he's dumping, yeah, I think that word is being misused.
Okay.
Because Atiku could move as the physical body of Atiku could be in one party. But the spirit will be in other places, so he's all over. Let's not say this.
So he's a spirit now.
Yeah, of course, this one.
But then, okay, let's talk about the physical body now, where it is, and that is APC. But then, we are thinking that it's the physical body the newspaper is referring to that will move to the People's Democratic Party. And we just got reports that its campaign posters flooded the secretariat of the PDP.
I want to believe that the APC knew quite well that Atiku is one man that would be difficult to stop from contesting. And so when he began to see the bells ringing in the direction of Buhari being endorsed and all of that, the man saw clearly that there's going to be a serious hitch on this particular, platform. So the safest thing is for him to begin to, strategize, such that should there be any lapse here, the man can take
has a platform.
And he has a way of doing it. He will first send his supporters in form of emissaries, go there, prepare the ground, and he has actually taken control of the PDP machinery in his own area. All right, he doesn't want to be beaten to it. He's a master of the game.
And we understand from the story report too that as he defects, the governor of the state will also.
It's not going to be the governor alone. Atiku has his own political machinery, very strong one at that. And it will shock you. At the time he moves, a lot of forces will move.
Well,
with
being
him.
the head of the PDM, the structure that gave birth to PDP, certainly he wouldn't.
And of course, Lagos State,
there will be a major upsurge.
Lagos State Publicity Secretary Igukwe stated this same thing that he
months ago
on this show that don't be fooled, Atiku is going to defect to the PDP. He said so. Yeah. So let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper. And of course, this major story is the one. Is the same as the one on the front page of the Daily Sun about Tinubu saying that governors alone can't endorse Buhari. So another catchy story, yes, the next one is about EFCC, Ekere, and then the DSS clash. But let's go down to the bottom left of the Vanguard newspaper. It says the World Bank raises concern over states' solvency. The World Bank, IBRD, is worried about the debts being incurred by state governments in Nigeria, and is even worried about Nigeria's debt ratio as well. I don't
always believe that the World Bank is ever worried. They're just trying to raise that alarm. Where do these people actually take all these loans from? Where? Are they loans they took from Nigerians or what? So are they worried over, oh, maybe Lagos State took a loan from Asiwaju or took a loan from Fashola or somebody? They are the same institutions that give them these loans. So if they are truly worried, they should show it by stopping them from taking these loans. So all these, politics of worried, whereas you are the one actually engineering these people, sometimes they equally do know that these loans are not actually, plowed into the projects for which they were taken, and they are accomplices themselves. So let's leave all those World Bank politics of being worried and not being worried. What we should focus on is to ensure that our governors carry out the mandate they were given with some level of discipline and some level of commitment. Because all this issue of complaints from foreign bodies, they will help us. What we should do, we should take, governance as our responsibility. So that we'll monitor our governance. All right,
let's quickly take another story atop the Vanguard newspaper masthead. So PDP denies McCarthy's presidential ambition, false call for his resignation. Well, it's getting hot within the PDP.
PDP.
Getting very hot.
But in any case, is McAfee eligible to contest for presidency?
Well, he's a Nigerian.
Does he have the right?
Exactly.
So that we shouldn't bother ourselves about who is contesting.
Was the chairman of the caretaker committee of the party?
Yeah, but he will be chairman at the point of contesting for the presidency. Very soon they will hold a convention.
He's a caretaker chairman until the convention. At the level of the convention,
beautiful.
A new substantive
will emerge. And that will happen before the primaries of the party.
Knowing how look at the trend in Nigeria and then how lawmakers are allowed to be members of the House. Sometimes
we need to round off.
Just take about.
Let him contest.
Exactly. We need to round off now. But however, let's round off with this day newspaper. We have Citing gaps in management of recovered assets, Buhari inaugurates audit panel. He is concerned that the money is recovered from, or the loot recovered from alleged corrupt people is not being managed well.
Well, it is gratifying that he has just taken this, but I think it is a step coming too late. You know, you should have put this machinery in motion even as you go, you know, for the recovery of the stolen funds, such that as the money comes, the management starts from there. Not, okay, over time, where has it been? Who has been in charge of that money? And now, how will he even know how much? So if he had put this committee in place before now, bit by bit report will be coming to him. We've got this, we've got that, we've got that. And how it is to be used should have been structured right from then.
Sure, and many Nigerians said for so long, especially when EFCC was getting this monies back, we're asking where the monies were being expended.
Of course, because
well,
we keep hearing they recovered this, they recovered that, they recovered that. You know, at the end of the day, all that they've recovered, you see here of, you know, budget to be financed through loans and all of that.
Exactly.
So we'll be wondering what role
but they
this
talk
money
about plowing
play.
the money. They talk about plowing the money to support the budget, to augment the budget expenditure.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, because it's part of our money. So it should be used to finance projects.
Other analysts have said that when the money comes, tie it to a project and do it.
Whichever way, whether you tie it to a project or tie it to projects, the most critical thing is that it is going to be part of the funds to fund the budget.
The budget for
and
the
the
year,
budget has already specified projects as well. So I want to, but the biggest challenge is that I assume that the budget is a law on its own.
Yeah.
And I do know that when laws are violated, there are consequences. But unfortunately, there are never consequences when the budget, you know, the Appropriation Act is violated. And almost every Appropriation Act is violated.
Well, they're never fully expended.
Nothing has happened.
Okay, we have to leave you here now. Dr.
Right.
Dan Ekere of the University of Lagos, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Very much.